Sweet mother of mercy, this would be amazing and great news for Denver Broncos fans. You're going to love this, as a very prominent news source has the Denver Broncos getting Ashton Jeanty with pick number 20 in this year's NFL draft. We're going to take a look at that mock draft, what would have to happen for that to actually fall into our laps, and then we're going to take a look at the past 2 years' most accurate mock drafters out there. Who do they predict the Broncos to get? And then if they are accurate again, obviously that would ring true. We know that even the best mock drafters are lucky if they get 1/3 of the picks correct, which is like basically my percentage of shooting ending game shots here. We're going to break all that down way more in this video. If you're new to the channel, I'm a diehard Denver Broncos fan named Ben, and it helps me in the YouTube algorithm out a ton if you like the Broncos, if you would like and subscribe. So I've told you multiple times on here, one of my go-to sources just in my media consumption is The Ringer. I love the Bill Simmons show. He is a massive New England Patriots homer, but other than that, he has some very accurate takes of the NBA and the NFL. And his group here that runs the NFL show on there does their mock draft together. And so this isn't just one person's thoughts in their basement. It's a bunch of plugged in people who've worked as beat reporters for different news stations across the country and have different sources. And so they went through here and did their mock draft. And it's very, very exciting here that you look all the way down at pick number 20 and the Denver Broncos have landed Ashton Jeanty. So let's look at what would need to happen and where would teams be going if they are not going to Ashton Jeanty. So the main places that we are hearing Ashton Jeanty rumored to is, first off, pick number 6 for the Vegas Raiders. We all know that you don't pick a running back unless it's like the last position that you have to get. That we broke down that Christian McCaffrey is the number 1 paid running back in the entire NFL. And that salary is equated to like the number 23 ranked wide receiver. The game values receivers and edge rushers and interior defense linemen and offensive linemen way more than running back. And so the Raiders, who haven't made the playoffs, who played horribly, they need way more help than that, and they definitely need some help on their offensive line. So if you see Will Campbell make it past the New England Patriots, because there's a lot of talk about his arm size, like he has too short of arms to play tackle, and so they were like, oh, that's too rich of a pick, and so instead they go with an interior defensive lineman here with the Patriots, which then push Will Campbell, and I think this is a very realistic possibility that if he drops there, that either you're talking Shedeur Sanders for the Raiders or a tackle would make way more sense for them than drafting a running back because they have so many needs. So then let's drop down here to pick number 10 because this is the next one that we hear about, and we're talking the Chicago Bears here. We know Chicago Bears put a ton towards Caleb Williams just in this offseason, that their main moves in this offseason were to beef up that offensive line for Caleb Williams. They already have a fantastic tight end in Cole Kmet, and they have DeAndre Swift, who's reuniting with Ben Johnson, who he coached before. And again, I think they look at the blueprint of how the Philadelphia Eagles were able to win the Super Bowl, and it was getting pressure on Patrick Mahomes with 4. That's how they made it through. And I think that the Chicago Bears know that they have to get after Jared Goff. They have to get after Jordan Love. They have to get after J.J. McCarthy. And I don't think this is a crazy take that they would draft right here. So then you're talking, the next one is the Cowboys at 12. And again, the Cowboys have so many problems, but you know, if Jerry Jones is truly looking down the barrel and he sees Ashton Jeanty there, I think it would be fairly impossible for him to move past there. So this is kind of our best case scenario. Like, this would be crazy exciting. We would all lose our mind. It would be a fantastic night, but let's take a look at a couple of accurate mock drafters. So this is Mock Draft Database, the Huddle Report, and it goes through and it ranks the past mock drafters, because everybody has a mock draft nowadays, and they give a 5-year average and last year's average. And so we have yet to see this one from the New York Times. When it happens, I definitely will be taking a look at it and throwing it out on my Twitter. But the next most accurate mock drafter last year here is Brendan Donahue from Sharp Football Analysis, and let's see what he predicts to happen. So what he predicts is that the Raiders are going to be getting Ashton Jeanty here at pick number 6. The Bears are going to get Tyler Warren, which I feel like they're feeling good about Cole Kmet. I don't know if that's going to happen. And then the Cowboys getting Tet McMillan. So you are now in a position here for the Denver Broncos where, and then this is just, okay, so we got to trade up here. So what he has, the second most accurate mock drafter has the Denver Broncos landing Omarion Hampton. What would you think about that? Do you think if Ashton Jeanty is off the board at 6, is that a good pick to pick Omarion Hampton with the 20th overall draft pick? I know there's been a ton of love recently for Treyvon Henderson. Would you prefer the Broncos get Treyvon Henderson or Omarion Hampton if that's the case? The next most accurate one on that list here is Ryan McChrystal. the next most accurate one. And again, he is saying that the Raiders are going to go ahead and get Ashton Jeanty. The Cowboys are getting Tet McMillan. The Bears are getting Tyler Warren. And so you have him getting the Broncos getting Treyvon Henderson. So we got 3 different mock drafts, 2 of them fairly accurate over the past couple years, all of them showing something different. This is why draft night is going to be so electric, because truly, I think outside of this idea that Cam Ward is going number 1, there is so much out there that nobody knows, and that's going to be very, very exciting. So let's look here at somebody who's a little more plugged in, actually a lot more plugged in. One of my absolute favorite Broncos media people to read in the Denver Post growing up and listening to his spots and watching him on 9 News, and that's Mike Kliss. And he wrote his article today, and he put basically like he would be shocked if our first round draft pick is anyone but one of these players listed here. So we got Colston Loveland, tight end from Michigan, Treyvon Henderson, running back, Omarion Hampton, running back, tight end from Penn State, Walter Nolan, Matthew Golden, Quinshon Judkins, Derek Harmon, and Kenneth Grant. So if I were to rank these in my order of which one would get me the most hyped of these, saying Ashton Jeanty is off the board, which one would I be most hyped about? And then I literally can't wait to read what you all have to say on here. Like, of these 9 players, which one has you the most hyped? I think my order would go, it would have to go Tyler Warren at number 1. I just think the longevity there and his ability to truly be a joker from now on. I think the 2 tight end sets that we could have with a Tyler Warren and an Evan Ingram is going to feed families for a lot of years to come. You just see a very versatile, tough Big Ten type talent, and this would get me extremely excited if he fell all the way to 20, because you're seeing some people say like he is a top 5 talent. And so if he fell there, that would get me crazy, crazy excited. My next one who would have me the most excited is actually going running back here. And my next one would be Treyvon Henderson. I think it seems like a lot of people have him as a second rounder in their mock draft. And so you feel like you're reaching there, but a lot of people felt like we were reaching on Bo Nix. Even during my live show last year, it felt like a little bit of a reach. And I was like, oh, should we have got Brock Bowers and tried to get Bo Nix in the 2nd or 3rd round? And now I feel like I was the biggest idiot in the world. So if Sean Payton has fallen in love with Treyvon Henderson, which he would have had to do to pick him at 20, we all need to lose our minds and be excited, because I think Sean Payton didn't trade up last year for Bo Nix. He is not going to trade. I think he is trusting the process and that the right player is going to fall to him and he's going to make it work. So I think my next one that I would have in order of that, I would go Warren number 1, I'd go Treyvon number 2, and then my number 3 would be Colston Loveland, just because, again, I think he played with some pretty horrific quarterbacks, especially that last year. He hasn't truly been good since he had J.J. McCarthy, and I think Sean Payton would do so much with him. And we hear about Sean Payton loving his slant god when Thomas, what was his first name? I don't remember him, but Sean Payton wants a guy who can just run slants over and over. And the middle of our field, guys, if we have Evan Ingram and Colston Loveland or Tyler Warren, this would just be wildly exciting. And then that lets you know that Sean Payton knows that running back is an issue on this team and he has a plan for it. And it would give you a clear sign that he knows a 2nd round, 3rd round, 4th round running back that everybody else is sleeping on, that he's going to bring in to make a difference and make this team. So let me know in the comments which of those has you most hyped. Hope you had a fantastic Easter. Broncos country, we've got a ton to Bo-LIEVE in. Oh, just hung on the rim.